Hi, I'm Justin McGarry, and welcome back to the HPE Discover Studio. I'm joined now by Jennifer Temple, HPE's Chief Marketing and Communications Officer, and Sylvia Hooks, Vice President of Product and Solutions Marketing. We'll unpack all the excitement at HPE Discover Barcelona, megatrends from across networking, cloud, and AI. Let's get started. Jennifer, Sylvia, welcome.
Thanks, Justin. Great to be here.
Thank you. And Jennifer, I want to have the first question for you. All this excitement this week taking place at Discover in Barcelona, reflecting on our 10-year journey, and now we have the recent integration that we closed with Juniper. What milestones are standing out to you this week?
Well, you just said one of them, which is to have this conference right on the backs of closing Juniper just a mere 5 months ago is really special because it allows us to have that complete portfolio conversation and show the opportunity, the immense opportunity that exists in having a more complete portfolio than we've ever had as a company, and having Juniper be a part of it, having Juniper team members here, having Juniper customers here, and then being able to talk about how that really allows us to accelerate the strategy we've been articulating the last couple of years. So that part is hugely exciting about the chapter of the first 10 years of HPE. But there are so many examples of innovation that has occurred in the last 10 years. I think we're all super proud to be a part of a company that innovates not only through acquisition, like Juniper, like Aruba, but also, I mean, it takes a lot of innovation prowess to have 6 of the top 10 fastest supercomputers on the planet. So we did that in the first 10 years. We launched GreenLake in the first 10 years. We were able to organically grow our portfolio and have a number of exciting innovations take shape and take hold, and we're known for that. I think it's also a huge hallmark of who we are by having this really incredible new brand, a new mark, a special occasion to celebrate 10 years, to be able to unveil that in June. You and I talked about that in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think having a cultural blueprint and an affirmation of who we are, what we believe, the behaviors that underpin how we show up every day for our customers. So all of those things make me really proud about the first chapter and the first decade. And then to have this event, to be in Barcelona with our European customers, largest event we've ever hosted here, 6,000 attendees, 4,000 of whom are customers and partners. So lots of energy around this portfolio, the excitement of where they can be enabled by our technology to tackle their hairiest goals. So I'm super thrilled about it, and it couldn't happen at a better time.
Yeah, I'm thrilled as well. And speaking of milestones, we had a lot of announcements this week that we're talking about at Discover in Barcelona.
Sure.
How do you see some of these major announcements from Antonio's keynote kind of reinforcing our story and our global leader as a networking giant and an innovator?
Yeah, wow. It was a keynote like no other keynote, to be honest. It was, in my 8 years here, I've never seen us be able to have the heft and the newsworthiness of a keynote of this caliber. And that's owed in part to the incredible work that was done in 5 months' time with Juniper and HPE coming together. We announced some things today that it's taken our competitors upwards of 13 plus years to try to figure out. And we were able to do it in 5 months. And that was really special to show and demonstrate the power of both platforms. Aruba Central and Mist offer incredible functionality. They now have cross-pollinated to give features and functionality lift on both platforms. So that was a huge part of the news, but also really enormous news on the cloud front, and being able to continue to show the power of GreenLake Intelligence and what our software is enabling people to be able to see, observability. There was so much in the cloud space and on AI. I mean, one of the things I love about the show floor is actually we're taking customers through the journey of everything from AI factories into private cloud AI, and you can really start to see what we've invented based on what our customers need in this new era of AI.
Yeah, it was really exciting for me. This is my second Discover in Barcelona with the company. And it was amazing being in that room with Antonio on stage at the keynote, packed house.
Yes.
Could barely even fit in there. It was amazing. So great stories to share there. And speaking of stories, Sylvia, in your role as Vice President of Product and Solutions Marketing, some of the announcements we spoke about this week, what do you think really exemplifies our ability to address customer problems and challenges?
Yeah, and let me also say, I was reflecting that I came in through the Aruba acquisition, which was just over 10 years ago. So it's kind of an interesting bookends for our decade, right? These big networking announcements. So far and away, I think that the Juniper networking announcements were the really big ones that Jennifer outlined. That ability to take two different platforms and allow them to both manage commonly, right? So they have a common UI. And in fact, as an audience member, I was looking at the different UIs and it's real, right? There's a common user interface on both of them. In addition, like there's a lot of AI ops that will be common across both. That's huge. So our customer base has been out there wondering, well, which one's going to win, right? So everybody's asking what's in it for me. And what we saw was you both win because you're getting this incredibly rapid innovation. So the new features that you're going to have in Central come from Mist. In Mist, it comes from Central. So just a huge amount of integration already. But then on top of that, and I think I mentioned the access point that can be managed by both platforms. That's very big if you're a network nerd. But on top of that, we have these huge other innovations that are separate from the integration together. So, for example, we announced the AMD Helios rack scale solution, which is based on the OCP design from Meta. So it's one of the industry's first open designs, and we're proud to have the fastest enterprise switch at that speed, 1.6 terabytes. So it's a huge accomplishment that our Juniper switch will be in that Helios rack, that HPE is managing the rack, that it's selling the rack in general. And then I think Rami pointed this out, there's this networking, storage, and compute cross synergy, right? That's really huge. So that's what customers have asked us for. And when we talk to our biggest customers, they want the solutions that bring everything together. So they don't want us to act like individual product companies. They want us to act like a solutions partner. So that's exactly what this represented in that keynote. They also, the first Tomahawk 6 based scale-up switch that Rami announced, they were the first in the Tomahawk 5 as well at 800 gigs. So these are huge amounts of innovation. We also announced this software layer that spans all of our technologies. So the Compute Ops Manager and the App Store from Juniper and HPE Aruba Central and the storage manager. All of that is now in OpsRamp. And so OpsRamp will be that central control or command center that deduplicates all the events and tells you what you need to know. So we're bringing AI ops across all of these different technology areas. And by the way, that is multi-vendor. And I want to pause there for a moment to say, it's multi-vendor. It's not just HPE. So I'm looking at all these different planes of consolidation, which is so hugely important. Because if you're trying to roll out AI in the enterprise, you have to have a handle on the infrastructure. So OpsRamp and GreenLake Intelligence are the way that we're helping our customers simplify that view and automate as much as we can. So I feel like I'm going on, but there's so much in this keynote, right?
There's so much in this keynote this morning. And I'd love to continue the conversation here around customers. Leading product management, I love engaging with our customers day in and day out and really hearing about their challenges and how we can help them solve those. So Jennifer, maybe you can talk a little bit about how you see these solutions that we announced this week impacting our customers directly.
Yes, well, Sylvia said it really well, which customers have said that they want to see the solutions working together. And one of the things I most loved about our announcements today is that everything we referenced interacted or intersected with another set of offerings or capabilities across the portfolio. And, we certainly can tune it any way the customer needs and wants to be able to have the conversation that they want to have. So one of the things I also love about the show floor is that it's organized into neighborhoods, if you will, to take people into meet them where they are on their journey. So we can go deep into cloud. We heard from customers earlier this year at our board of advisors that one of the things they're really wrestling with is how to modernize their cloud environments and how to kind of bring it into the next chapter as they enter this daunting era of AI. And so people can walk through the neighborhoods and experience and meet with subject matter experts, get real-time feedback on where they are. They can actually be plugged into, capabilities on the floor that show them what we know about what they've said publicly about their cloud journeys, and then be able to be given advice right there on the spot of where they take that chapter next. So I guess to answer the question of what I love most is I love to see HPE working better together in a more connected way, that's a more experiential way in places where, yes, we have a right to win, but more importantly, our customers deserve to win. And so by leveraging our capabilities, we can really empower them.
Well, it's amazing to see on the show floor, everyone kind of surrounding the demos, as you're saying, and really getting interactive with all our new products and solutions that we're taking to market this week.
Exactly.
As we go into 2026, Sylvia, I'm curious just, how are you thinking about the emerging trends and where our portfolio is going? What do you think most shapes our conversations with our customers and partners? What are they interested in hearing from us right now and as we're going into 2026?
Yeah, we took a hard look at all the things going on in the industry right now, and we tried to organize our narratives with the market as well as our solutions around three big trends that we're seeing, right? So the AI gold rush, customers are trying to rapidly streamline their AI deployments and get to that ROI, right? So how do you get ROI from that investment? Because as Antonio unpacked it, it's not as easy as we hoped it would be, right?
No, and there's an incredible amount of CapEx going towards AI right now, and customers really need to be able to prove out business outcomes that they're having across the organization as a result.
Exactly. So that AI gold rush, as we call it, has some distinct technology solutions underneath that about how you prepare your data, how you modernize your infrastructure, and how you streamline operations, right? And then finally, how do you make your network ready for that whole transition too? Rami pointed that out. So that's one area. The next would be this idea of we need to reset our VM strategy, right? So people are grappling with rising costs in the cloud with their existing contracts. So HPE, what you heard us announce today was a lot of enhancements in Morpheus that help make this a real true enterprise-grade solution for virtualization. So we have, again, a blueprint there about how do you prepare your data, how do you modernize your private cloud strategy, balancing public and private cloud, and then streamline and modernize your hybrid IT ops, right? So lots to unpack there, and how the upgrading to Gen 12 is part of that formula. But we're trying to really talk about it in terms of customers. This is how you get from point A to point B where you want to be. And the final that we can never get away from, but I think it's increasing in velocity this year, is the security and resilience imperative. You can't do any of this without making sure that it's secure and that there will inevitably be attacks. So how do you recover quickly? So we're looking at across storage, networking, and data. How do you protect yourself and recover quickly? As well as protect your most critical workloads, and where you need data sovereignty. There are industries or areas where you need to really keep your data local for lots of reasons. So how do we enable that for customers? But again, really what it's about is attacking the customer problems and then aligning our own resources and education and enablement and even marketing to tell those stories and help bring people along.
I was in a customer roundtable yesterday, and the two top priorities for our customers are sovereignty of their data and thinking about security. Of all the challenges that have been happening in their environments today, and we've seen some of that in the news as well, really focused on that. So you hit on both of those kind of key topics.
Especially in the EU, right? There's a lot of regulation that is starting to go to the rest of the world, but the EU is really the data sovereignty epicenter.
Yeah.
And we purposefully built, by the way, on the show floor, when you walk straight through the show floor, there's a resilience on your right and a security on your left. Like you kind of choose your own adventure, and having that conversation that we know is so meaningful to customers.
Yeah, so Jennifer, I did want to ask you, what are you excited about for what's next as we go into 2026?
Well, as if all of this weren't exciting enough. I mean, I am truly excited about the innovation. I'm truly excited, and all the conversation you've just had and heard from Sylvia, we've mentioned OpsRamp, we've mentioned mentioned Morpheus, we've mentioned Juniper, we've mentioned Aruba. Like all of these wonderful acquisitions over the last 10 years have upped our game and helped us really offer some compelling solutions. So as if I weren't excited enough about what we're building organically and what we've been able to build by accumulating different opportunities that come through acquisition. The other thing I'm really excited about is how strong our culture is as a company. And not only was this brand moment this year such a defining moment for us, but we also unveiled to the world, to ourselves, and then to the world, a new cultural commitment of sorts in our beliefs and our behaviors, because we know that to do everything that's expected of us with the reputation we have and the history that we have, we need to double down on really innovating, having a proactive mindset, exploring fearlessly, really helping customers appreciate the art of what's possible and getting after it. So I'm super excited about entering this next decade with more conviction than ever about what it takes to be the powerhouse that we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And that culture focused on innovation, I've been able to experience that firsthand here in my second year at the company. It's a phenomenal journey that I've been on, and I really appreciate both you, Jennifer, and you, Sylvia, sharing your perspectives about what's happening this week, Antonio's keynote, and all of the incredible announcements we have. Thank you both.
Great.
Really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for being innovative and being an anchor in addition to your day job.
I appreciate that, Jennifer. Well, thank you all for watching. There's so much more to come here at HPE Discover Barcelona 2025. So stay with us here in the studio for more exclusive content and conversations. To explore all the great on-demand content we have, be sure to visit hpe.com/discover/Barcelona.